Hey everyone, two things before we get started. Number one, our video file got corrupted once more, sadly. However, we were able to get everything recovered, just except podcast overlay that we've got. So we've got the face cams, we've got all the slides that we talked about, and we've got all the audio saved. So podcast is just going to look a little bit different, but all of the content is still there. Number two, we completely forgot that it was Thanksgiving on the day that this is being uploaded. So to everyone who celebrates, happy Thanksgiving, whether you are having a big feast, you're hanging out with family, or you're just having a chill day, maybe with a couple close friends or just by yourself. We hope that your holiday is safe, and we wish you the best, of course. So that's all for me today. Let's get right into the podcast now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Blade Dragons podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Elliot.
And we are the Blade Dragons. So today is going to be a roller coaster of a day for Beyblade X. We have just watched episode 7, and oh boy, we've got some thoughts.
Yes, it is the opposite direction of what we were hoping for. We were giving so much credit and we were so excited, and we skimmed through the next chapter of the manga, we finished this episode of the anime, and we have a lot to say, and we are still hopeful as much as possible, but we will get into it. And we literally had to take a half an hour break before recording this podcast because we were about to just go off and just say some stuff that we needed to step back and think about. So we calmed down a bit, a little more level-headed now, but we'll get into this anime, and we're gonna rank the products of Beyblade X, the ones that have released so far. So everyone knows the December releases are gonna rank super high on the list, but everything we have now in hand is what we're gonna do a tier list of at the end of this video. So stay tuned for a tier list of our opinion of the actual products. But for now, we will get into the anime, and we'll tell you what we think of it so far. So take it away, Alex.
I think we'll touch on the manga a little bit too for chapter 6. No screen caps or anything, but we'll just kind of give our base thoughts before we head into the positive part of this week's episode. So to get started, we have 5 points. We have like nothing to talk about, which just I think should say everything about the episode and where we're at in the anime. But let's get started with 80K and just the insane laziness with the animation. Let's take Metal Fight, for example. Whenever a battle's going down, there's always a lot of people excited and ready to talk about, or they're ready to watch the battle. They're ready to see, and you can clearly see that they've animated a bunch of people sitting in the stands. It's a packed house. And here, we're looking at it, and it's just, you can't see the crowd. They're all covered in the shadows. And then you can kind of make it out. You can see these heads popping up here on the, like, whatever banner this is in the back.
See, the worst part is that, I mean, I get the scale of this, that it's bigger than life and everything, but, like, it's not even hard to animate, like, the colors. You literally just put a blob everywhere in the stands and you can see it. I get that they're trying to recreate what they did with Burst and have it more of like an anonymous situation for the fans, but it just feels so empty. Like, the detail they put in there with Burst, like, these are just big panels of color. Like, there's not even detail in this whole arena here. It's just very empty, simple, very underwhelming.
You also notice that this is presumably where you walk out. There's no stairs. There's just a big ramp.
Yeah, wait.
How do you get to the back here? What's up with this one? Where does this one go? It just comes out to this banner here.
Wait, the teams walk out of there. What are those? Mm-hmm. Are those for the ambulances or something to get down there? Like, what?
I don't even know.
What are those for? I mean, there's no reason for those to have any existence there if the teams walk out of their sides.
No, these are for the stands. But then even that doesn't make any sense. It feels like this was AI generated.
Honestly, it does.
It looks human to an extent, but at the same time, it's like, these make no sense. These make no sense. Why are these like so massive for no reason? I mean, granted, the stadium, is tiny. This is a small stadium. DJAI is also over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this stadium is not very big, but, like, it's baffling just how, like, dystopian this looks.
Yeah,
in the sense that it's, like, AI generated, and it has, like, things that shouldn't work.
We didn't even break anything down. We watch the anime, take our screenshots, and then we save our breakdowns and discussions for this podcast. So we're just discovering new things about some of these screenshots live. So I didn't even notice how weirdly proportionated this whole arena is. So,
This is just weird. It's making my head hurt. We're going to move on to our next point before my brain explodes. Which, of course, is another negative, a big negative, which is the arrow shot that Wizard Arrow takes against Viper Tail. So as you can see here, Wizard Arrow does its Mirage Parry. And we see the Beyblade actually pull it off. But then, for whatever reason, Wizard Arrow shoots an actual arrow, and then it hits. So, to keep in mind, Wizard Arrow, the avatar that is supposed to be a hologram, shoots an arrow, presumably a hologram arrow, at the Viper Tail Beyblade. The arrow that was shot by the Mirage, or the hologram, hits the physical Beyblade and, like, flips it over.
Mm-hmm. And we looked over the animation. Like, we think there might be a lapse in time there. Viper Tail is on the outer ridge of the stadium. Wizard Arrow's in the middle. It goes from Wizard Mirage, does the weird counter move, does the shadow clones. Viper Tail goes to the outside, and then Avatar comes out, shoots across the stadium. There is no visual representation of a Beyblade. This yellow streak that you're seeing is what actually hits the Beyblade. There is no inclination that there was an attack done. And we were under the impression that these were 4D, or what did the 4D system, holograms, I forget what we talked about in the other episode, but that they are not sentient beings, but they have like, they're not real, they are made by the stadium, but then they also have the most presence, like they did back in Bakuten-Shoot, that they were able to destroy things. We don't know what's going to happen with these avatars. We were under the impression that they were holograms, and now for her to literally win the battle from an obvious hologram arrow, literally we stopped and we just sat there, mind boggled. We were like, no way did that just happen. We had to see something wrong.
It made it seem like, and they had that whole thing in the other episode with the hologram room and that training room from, like, episode 5 or whatever, and it's like, okay, so these are holograms, they are visible, but they don't interact with, the physical world. And then here we have the Wizard Arrow hologram shooting at Viper Tail and hitting it and making it lose, which I don't know if they specifically stated in the anime or the manga if, what the deal was with these guys, but we were under the impression that they were just holograms and that they weren't going to, like, interfere with the battle. It would just be like, you got the Beyblades doing the physical battle and what determines the outcome, and then you have the avatars that are the 4X, those holograms, and that they don't affect the physical world, but they just kind of fight each other for eye candy. I guess not. I guess apparently these holograms can affect the Beyblades in the physical plane of existence for whatever reason, and I'm kind of disappointed with that. I think that's a bad move. It's
not even the fact that it's just the hologram, it's the fact that it wasn't even a special move. The first battle we saw, Wizard Mirage, was a defensive measure, and I think it literally just countered Bird out of the stadium or something. I don't remember that first battle. Like, it was a contact hit in the middle of the stadium. This one was across the stadium in an offensive Wizard Mirage, like a Wizard Arrow Mirage. So I'm 99% sure that's the same attack that we saw in episode 2.
So it looks like Mirage Parry is it's a parry. So I forgot what we're gonna English today. Define parry.
Parry is the like
Ward
counter.
off. Yeah, ward off with a counter move. So it's like it dodges and then it counterattacks. So it did that. Wizard Arrow, the Beyblade, did that. But then the Avatar, after Viper Tail is on the edge, shoots it. Now, hold on. I am. It's possible that the Avatar was just eye candy, and that Viper Tail was. No, I don't know. We scrubbed through it, and it looked like the arrow affected it.
We
and,
went
like,
frame by
smacked it.
frame, and there was nothing that we missed. It was full on wizard parry, arrow, one battle. Viper Tail stops spinning, and it rolls back into the center of the stadium, and Wizard Arrow is still in the middle of the stadium where it was before the hit. And like we'll get into like how let down this animation is for these battles. They've missed a lot of things in this animation that are giant things, like the burst assets that we theorized about. How did that even happen? I wouldn't be surprised if they forgot to put in 5 frames of showing Wizard Arrow attacking Viper Tail or something. Like, no one even brings up the fact that the Beyblade didn't even just hit the Beyblade. Like, no one states that the Avatar did this. They're just like, yeah, you won! And it's like, did you guys see that too?
It's almost like everybody is Hillary from Bakadenshu before she could see the Bit Beasts. Oh my, I don't even know. It's weird. It's not explained. It leaves a lot of questions. And I'm disappointed. This is one of many points in this episode at which I will likely say that I am disappointed with this anime. And it's
bad because we have so much hope for this generation of Beyblade X. And over these last 3 podcast episodes, they have they've made us so uncomfortable on our stance with this anime. We always look at the positives, like, oh, Bird and Comet are so funny. But then when it gets down to the actual important parts of this anime, they just literally drop the ball into an incinerator and just act like nothing happened. So we'll move on from this. I think we have 2 more points that we can dwell on, but we don't understand how she won that battle.
Yeah,
But we did see Wizard Arrow for the first time in the anime. Decent art design.
Yeah, we did, but at this point I'm too salty about the battle to even bother showing it. Go watch the episode yourself.
Yeah, see, this is
I
how
was
we
about
were
to say
at the
it's
end
actually pretty good.
Yeah, this is how we were at the end of recording. We're just like, move on, we don't. I literally just stood back and was like, do we even want to record this episode?
Yeah, we were considering just not even talking about the anime.
We literally planned to do a Metal Fight episode. Like, we just were about to scrub Beyblade X from this episode.
When we first started talking about doing a podcast and collabing, we had the idea of doing a Metal Fight special moves tier list, which that was looking very tempting for us to talk about instead of doing Beyblade X this episode. Let me tell you, this episode of Beyblade X was just nothing. It was just eventful in all the wrong ways, and other than that, it was uneventful. It was disappointing all around, and I'm gonna blow a gasket if we don't talk about Bird and Chopin's battle, which of course was Hell Scythe versus Rhino Horn. Now this was a little more interesting because we got to see more than just a one-hit burst like we did in the manga. Mm-hmm. Because in the manga, I believe, like Bird launched Hell Scythe in, and then it like went up to Rhino Horn, and then got smacked downward by the centrifugal force or whatever, and then burst immediately, and the battle was over. Here we got to see a little more. We got to see Bird actually attacking, and we got to see like Hell Scythe, basic barrage attack. and then it did an imitation X dash, which is what you see here, the contact from that, and then it gets shoved out of the stadium and it bursts and Bird loses. So Bird still sucks. Yeah, that was expected from the manga, but I don't know. I guess it was nice to see more than just just a one hit for the anime, I suppose.
So the thing is with these battles, one hit wins are cool in the fact that the power scaling is so different, but with the way they're portraying it in the anime, that we scrubbed over the manga for the next episode, and the way they're portraying battles is not at all what we were hoping for. With like Beyblade Burst, the way they did it was battles lasted no time. It was like 3 hits most, like, oh, one attack from you, and then they meet in the middle with their super flurry, and then one flies out and hits the ground first or whatever. The way that's similar to how they're doing battles in X, which not at all what we were hoping for. We did want the extremeness of Metal Fight. That was literally episode upon episode battles and whatever, that special moves over special moves, but the way that they're trying to portray it to be more realistic doesn't make for good anime battles. They're really boring.
I'll show you how to make it not boring. 80K. Take some notes right here. See this? See what I'm holding here? It's a gun.
This is a vacuum.
These are cool. Those are also cool. See, what's going to happen is I'm going to shoot this Beyblade off the gun, and Elliot, with his Bayguster 9000, is going to catch it, and he's going to zuck it in. 3, 2, 1. And he sucked it in. Look at that. That was more entertaining than your entire anime so far. Take notes.
Oh, gosh. Great skit.
Thankfully that didn't dent my desk.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh. Wonder where that Beyblade's gonna land.
It like kind of landed on my keyboard and then spun out on my desk.
Oh,
jeez. But
okay, what's the next point?
So all our fooling around aside, we'll move on. We did get to see a Rhino Horn, which I'll show this one. Rhino Horn actually looks kind of cool.
Face tats.
Yeah, it's just a Rhino. If it didn't have the face paint, I wouldn't even have mentioned this. But the face paint, as minimal as it is, it's kind of cool.
Did we see King? Didn't his lion have some face paint or something too?
No, I don't think we saw his. Or I think maybe episode 6.
Not this episode. I thought we saw it in a past episode or something. But
yeah. So, and then that was really all we had to comment about.
But
it was just
the best part is we got new advertisements. We've been waiting for new advertisements for the last 5 episodes of the damn anime, and we finally got new Beyblades, and we were like, oh my gosh, the most hype part of the episode is the commercial.
So in the middle of every episode for Beyblade X so far, there's a little intermission where the ads would normally play if it was airing on traditional TV, but on YouTube, since there's not. Well, we have YouTube Premium, so we don't have to worry about ads. So in the ad space on the release on YouTube for the episodes, there's advertisements for Beyblade that they put in the middle. So for the past 6 episodes, it's been a little like battle with Drawn Sword and Hell Scythe, where Drawn Sword does an extreme dash, and then it shows us the first 4 starters, and then Laying Claw. However, for episode 7, they mixed it up, because afterwards we got a little demo video for Phoenix Wing, and then it showed us the Phoenix Wing starter. And it also surprisingly advertised the Roblox Beyblade Park. Now, I've been on this. If any of you guys watching remember, Nizuma did a stream where he was on that. I was in there. I was playing with him, and there was a couple moments where we were fooling around in the lobbies and whatever. But interesting that they would, advertise this. I wasn't expecting that. I knew that they were involved in the Beyblade Park but I would never have expected them to advertise that in the anime episode, which is just insane that they're doing that. It's, and it makes me wonder, is this the future of Beyblade games? They're just going to rely on Roblox creations? Because if there's one thing that I've definitely been talking about on Discord channels with people, is a Nintendo Switch Beyblade X game. Like a open world RPG, 3D, like Pokemon Legends Arceus or Xenoblade style like that, where it's like open and you can like go up to people and battle them. Especially if they made that MMO and they did like all online, and you could like sync it to your Bay Battle Pass and use like your IRL base stats, and you could do that with the international. Take notes, everybody.
Yeah, they could port the app, do something like Isn't the app Bluetooth? Switches are Bluetooth. You could launch your Beyblade in real life and have it be the power in the game. Like I don't know. They're both Japanese companies. Like they got to be able to work something out there. You could even use your Joy-Cons to launch or something. Like I don't know.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I don't know.
Imagine if we got Joy-Cons that could connect to the Bay Battle Pass and then connect that to the Switch. Although they could just connect honestly, we could just use like the Joy-Cons, or we could just use like a normal game controller to control the character and the menus and all that. But then when you actually have to launch, you can just like, if you could sync your Bay Battle Pass to your Switch, and then just use your launcher as the launching for in game, and you just launch in real life, and that goes through the Battle Pass into the game. Like that would be insanely awesome.
Yeah, it could be similar to like Guitar Hero. Like you can use the guitar for Guitar Hero, but if you don't have it, you could also use like an Xbox controller. So you don't need it, but it could be like an added like real life effect that could be implemented into it. That for the hardcore fans that have all the products, you could actually rip a Beyblade and have it translate to your TV. And it's like, what?
Or you know what? I've got an even better idea. They make a special controller, or they make a special Joy-Con that's attached, that you can attach to a Bay launcher, and then it's got like the little reader that the Bay Battle Pass has for launching, and then you just have that, and it connects straight to the TV.
Honestly, that would make more sense, that they would make money off of another product that would release with a physical copy of the game, and then you could link that onto your. The way that I'm looking at these products, I doubt they're going to do anything that cool, but apparently we got like 4 more years of this series, so we're holding out hope.
It could happen. I mean, honestly,
it's possible with the technology nowadays. It's crazy.
Yeah. If you guys want to see this, like this video, share the podcast. We come up with ideas for Takara and Hasbro like every time we record this. So this, like, get this stuff spread around. We could maybe see this. We could see this if we convinced enough people to shout out Nintendo and Takara on like Twitter or whatever. Maybe we could see the Beyblade X Joy-Con with the I don't know what you would call. I guess with the it's not speedometer, accelerometer.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't think that's it either.
Okay, yeah, I don't even know what it's called, but anyway, like the. It's not
for them to make a controller attachment that goes on the launcher that has the same rip speed capturing function that the Bay Battle Pass does. Basically, you just make a Bay Battle Pass Joy-Con that you can attach onto your Beyblade launcher.
Which is an insane idea. That would literally sell out so fast.
Oh, it would be gone. They would have to like mass produce that for a year.
That's how they would do real life battles. It would all go through a Switch and go through Nintendo servers instead of them having to make their own server on the Bay Battle Pass app. And then it could be like literally an RPG where it's like a free roam, or you can join servers or something and literally, bro, it sounds simple. It's probably not that simple, but with these billion-dollar companies, they gotta be able to figure something out, bro. That's insane.
I think it would be in better hands with like an independent game or a third-party company making the servers, because Nintendo does not have a great history with multiplayer servers outside of like Mario Kart. For whatever reason, Mario Kart is the only game that the online consistently works and is good. Splatoon, that's a different story. That's a different can of worms that we will open maybe another time in another place. But anyways, like, come on, Takara, you got to do it. Make us a open world Beyblade MMO where you can connect the Bay Battle Pass, or you have a special Bay Battle Pass controller for whatever console you put it on that attaches to your launcher, and you can rip in real life, and that translates over to the video game to rip your Beyblade. It would be so awesome, and you could get the gamer crowd into Beyblade through that.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, it's not even like loyal to Nintendo. Like that's literally just a Bluetooth feature that like any console could use. So, I mean, honestly, if they just give us a solid freaking Beyblade game, that would be great. All of these Beyblade games are literally just in a room. You go from Bay Shop to Stadium, try to get points, you go buy a Beyblade. Like, give us some story, give us an actual world. Like, it's been 25 years. Give us an actual game. Like, Pokemon did its first game.
I mean, well, to be fair, we did get the Beyblade Metal Fusion games. I heard I played through like some of Battle Fortress for Metal Fusion on the Wii. That game is okay, but like I think nowadays like Beyblade has the recognizability and the raw product potential to just become its own, to become a video game series where you can spin off the anime or manga or just create your own story with Beyblade X and just expand the universe outside of manga and anime and have a video game series that you can interact with your real life Beyblades to play with.
I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. Like, Dragon Ball and Naruto, for damn sake, have their own video games. And they're literally just TV shows. Like, why wouldn't a real product in real life get its video adaptation? That's like such a big moneymaker.
Every big anime has video games, like Initial D, racing games. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has fighting games. Same with Dragon Ball and Naruto. And Beyblade has RPGs, like Pokemon and TCG. Like, it's there. They've done it before. If they do this correctly, where you use your products in real life, which they've already synced into digital with the Bay Battle Pass. If you just do that with a video game and you make that interconnectability, that will sell well. But of course, they have to make the story good and all that. And they have to make the gameplay good, of course. But they could do that. They've done it before.
If that's season 3 of Beyblade X, I don't care. If that actually happens, bro, I literally will have a mental breakdown if we get an actual Beyblade game like that, because that is so possible with today's technology, and in 3 years it's just going to get even more plausible.
Yeah, as time continues to move forward and technology gets more advanced and incredible, these ideas that we come up with now are just going to be that much more feasible to do and sell for a decent price. So hey, Hasbro, Takara, we've got some ideas for you. Give us jobs. We will make Beyblade for you. We will make it work.
If we weren't going to get sued into the ground, we would take this to Shark Tank.
Oh yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so it was pretty cool to see more ads in the Beyblade X anime.
And they looked really good. Like, the Phoenix Wing looks insane.
Now, of course, before we finish off with the anime, let's just run through our funny shots that we took. First of all, what is up with Bird? Why is his launcher
the size
massive?
Of his forearm? It's like this big.
It is just so huge.
This is the Bay launcher. I got my Beyblade here. You can't even tell because the size comparison.
It's so huge. That's what she said. But anyways. Then we got Happy Taisho here. Ooh, look at the happy boy.
No animated sushi this time. Just normal sushi headgear.
Yeah, there were no sushi headpieces. We'll have to see for next time for our Taisho headpiece. And then, if we look at Chopin here.
What are those?
Hold on. What are those? Gee, like these... she is not the biggest human being on the planet, but these shoes are massive.
And the
She's
fact
gonna be like
that
a size 4.
the fact that she pulls out dumplings from her cape mid battle.
Oh yeah, she just pulls out dumplings. It was so funny because we thought they were onions for a second, and we were like, wait, why is she just giving them onions? What is she, Shrek? She got layers? Wait, layers? That's a Beyblade reference anyways.
It's all coming back together.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together. I gotta work on my Patrick Warburton. Anyways, we got multi in bunny ears, which is interesting.
We thought they were cat ears. And now, now they're bunny ears.
I guess she just has different ears that she pulls out. So, you know, we had some comments that we probably shouldn't say on YouTube about the bunny ears, but we're gonna move on. We also got.
Oh, he blushes through the mask. I didn't even catch that.
The mask blushes. Yep, the mask just blushes. Everyone was kawaii for this, and except Bird, obviously, because why would Bird be kawaii on Beyblade?
And this was for the Wizard Arrow avatar, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, when the Wizard Arrow, everyone's like, oh, it's so cute. I'm like, what is so cute about it? And it's the fans, the 5 fans that we saw in this episode, Common X already has merchandise. They have face masks of Common X's mask in the stadium, or in the fan bleachers, and we're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
he capitalizes quick.
The funny part is that we don't understand what the hell Bird's process is on this team. He got an interview because he was the captain. Literally said nothing because he's Bird. Like, look at that. He gets overwhelmed by just standing on the stadium. And so he says nothing. King makes a joke about it. And then they just brush by Bird, and King and Common are the headliner. What is... Like, I made the joke. I was like, they don't care about Bird unless he's making a fool out of himself. Anytime that needs promotion or anything, Common X is the man they go to. But when Bird needs to say something or not be able to say something, they're like, oh, you are the captain. But, like, we addressed, why is Common the ringleader? Why is his Common X mask their team logo?
Common's just actually the team leader. Multi just said that in the last episode just so that Bird would feel like he has a place. He doesn't actually. He's just dope. He's just a dopey bird.
I don't know why he's the leader. He's never won a battle. He doesn't even know how to damn Beyblade.
He's trash at Beyblade. Why does he get to be the leader? Kind of whack. Anyways, we got more bird faces. Of course, Bird just looking absolutely just cannot comprehend anything.
I forget what he was even doing in this screenshot. Oh,
and of course, we got the face tackle from the manga where Chopin runs back and just slams her entire body into King's face. We didn't think that they would keep that in the anime, and we were wrong. They did translate it.
She like teleports onto his face. Like she just sprints and just teleports to his face.
Yep. It was very quick. But and then it's funny, King like just talks through her as she's just gripping onto his face. It's hilarious.
Oh, her shoes are proportional now. She's the size of King's head, but her shoes are proportional.
Yep, at least her shoes are correctly proportioned. I think the only character that's actually been proportioned correctly throughout the entire show so far is Toguru over there.
Yeah.
He's like the only one that's kind of been consistently sized every time we see him.
And can we just address, this man needs a freaking Serta mattress or something. He has the most outrageous bags under his eyes. Like, they look like his eyes were surgically like implanted. Like, these are scars. But they're the most droopy bags under his eyes. Like, the character design on him makes him look like, I don't know, like it's really overdone for the character.
He needs a nap. That's all. He just needs a little nap, and he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just a little nap. He'll be fine. But anyway, so that's gonna wrap up our talk about the anime and the manga. Oh wait, we didn't even touch the manga. So
we can. Do we want to touch on the manga for the next episode of manga, or should we save that?
I don't think we're gonna really mention it until it comes out in the anime. And I mean, they kind of... I think the Bay printing thing is worth touching on.
Okay, I mean, it's just more disappointing stuff.
I suppose. I mean, I'll leave it to you. You can take a call on that one. I mean, I'm okay with either.
I mean, we could end on a high note and do the tier list, because I feel like if we got into the manga, we would just end up talking for another half an hour about this. Would just be a fully disappointing episode.
I suppose. Well, alright, so we'll wait for it to be translated. Maybe the anime will do it a little better. So anyways, we were disappointed with Chapter 6 of the manga. We skimmed through it a bit. And while there were some interesting things that they touched on, overall, we were just bogged down by disappointment the entire time.
We're left speechless
of
disappointment again. So we'll get there when hopefully we'll give the anime a chance. The anime has done some better things than the manga, so hopefully they do something, but once again, the battle sequence is mind-blowing how far they dropped the ball.
It's just... I don't even think they picked the ball up to begin with.
They just stomped it into the ground.
Yeah, they're just pushing it further into the ground. Like, I wasn't huge on burst battles, but Beyblade X makes burst battles look like Metal Fight and Bakugan shoot battles.
Yeah, no, we literally...
Because those battles were hype.
Yeah, Alex was like, this makes Burst Season 1 look good. I'm like, yeah, and I didn't think that was a good anime, but the linear storyline... The linear storyline for X doesn't make any sense, and we're getting into it. We could gripe about this for another half an hour. Let's end on a positive note, ranking the actual Beyblades for Beyblade X.
We are going to do it. We are going to do the Beyblade X tier list. So this is, of course, all of the Beyblades that have been publicly released. So Phoenix Wing, Phoenix Feather, and Wyvern Gale are not on this list because they have not been released yet. Those are coming out in December. So we're just going to rank the 13 products that we've gotten so far. So I guess that means whenever we get 13 more bays in Season 1, we'll throw those on the tier list too and see how they compare. And we'll re-rank the other ones too. But first 13, let's take a look.
Should we go in order? Yeah, I was going to say in order, yeah.
So yeah, let me poop these into the correct order. I'll throw Cobalt here. And then Drawn Sword. And Hell Size, please. What are you?
Yeah, we'll do it.
My OCD says that this has to be perfect.
Sorry guys, I messed up I uploaded the wrong file, so not everyone's the same PNG, but we'll fix it in the future. It is what it is.
You're good. Yeah, it's pretty good the way it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we got them all in order. So we are including X Overbays in here too. So first up, we've got Dronzer Spiral. Are we ranking these just by how we feel about them, or how they stack up in battle as well?
We'll do both, because honestly, not many of them. There's only a couple that are like bad Beyblades, in my opinion. But overall, Dronzer Spiral, I think they nerfed a bit. They made him really light. The concept is there. The rest of the X Overbays, I think, are going to be very good. For a proof of concept for a remake of Plastic Gen, I love him. Battle-wise, better than expected, but as we get these new bays, obviously the simple design is being overshadowed. So I would have to throw Dronzer S, sadly, probably B.
I can see that. Yeah, I would say so. There was in the stream that I did this past Saturday, we did have a lot of fun with Dronzer and Mac and Shark. I threw them on like some random combos, and then we were battling them with the Nuzzle 3D long winders. Which be sure to go check out Nuzzle 3D and use code METALTOPS to get 10% off your order. Really good products, really useful. They got a launcher link for winder launchers, which is insanely useful for YouTubers that sadly don't have friends in real life that Beyblade with them, like us. So, although Elliot is the master of double launching with just his hands, I don't know how you do it, man.
Don't worry,
I tried doing it.
I can't palm a basketball, but I can double launch.
It is a gift. It is a true gift. So, but yes, so that is Dronzer Spiral. it's fun, and I really love that we have it. But in terms of battling and just kind of the overall build quality, the paint goes off. It goes it'll leave the Beyblade and go anywhere on other Beyblades, and we can see Elliot here has got his Dronzer, and it's in worse condition than mine.
That was blue, and now it's silver.
Yep. It is. It's just insane how
beat up it is.
How scuffed it gets. The scuffing in general is just bad, and the oxidation is really quick too. I don't know if you've noticed that, but like my drawn sword, like my BX01, that it oxidized so fast.
Yeah, I think within a week they all turn to matte gray. Like this is Rhino Horn. You can see how shiny it is. And that is Mac and Shark. Literally matte gray versus nice and shiny. So I give it a week and they all just oxidize.
It's I don't know. I hope the build quality gets better. I hope they use the same alloy as like Metal Fight, cuz like you see here I got like pre-hybrid wheel Pisces, and it's still pretty shiny. Still pretty chic. Like the metal doesn't look like so faded, and this thing is like from 2008, 2009. Like this is 15-ish years old. And it still looks pretty crisp.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that a word was that they use a lot of zinc in the metal. I don't know if that has a faster oxidation compared to other alloys or something, but
it might.
It's the same thing like with my Plastigen bays. Like the oxidization of X bays literally looks like the weight discs from Plastigen 20 years ago. So I don't know if they haven't updated their chemical prints or anything, but overall, it is what it is. Well, we're getting new bays, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt because it seems like they're at least taking pride in the product. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, aside from the oxidization issues are just a small nitpick. The overall products are the best part, and that's why we're ranking them in our little tier list here, of course, because this is the best part of Beyblade X. We're definitely gonna spend more time talking about it if the anime is gonna be poo. So, anyways, next up we got Cobalt Drake. Now, neither of us have this Beyblade for pretty obvious reasons.
Yes.
It's tough to get if you live outside of Japan. Now, you know, I've been considering seeing if there are like services where you can like win the Beyblade on the app, and then like a service or the service will like claim the bay in Japan, and then they'll be able to ship it to you. I wonder if they have things like that.
So I don't know. Nook got his Cobalt Drake that he won. Nizuma never got his gold Hell Scythe. I don't know what they did to bypass that, because I don't know, maybe Nook won it and then just bought it separately. I haven't talked to him about it, but I know Nizuma posted on his community page that he did win gold Hell Scythe, but we never got an update if he actually shipped it, so I don't know. You finally downloaded the Battle Pass. I personally have not, and I'm not until global release, but neither of us have any input on actually how the Battle Pass works.
Yeah. I mean, I think the way that it does work is it pretty much just allows you to record your rip speed and how many launches you do. I think that's it for what the physical product does. It just connects to the app, and which I like because I honestly like to see how strong my rip speed is. And of course, with the Nuzzle 3D Long Winder, you get like way more power out of it. It's got 30 more usable teeth, which means launches are crazy, absolutely insane with it. And it's like, I want to test that out, so I did get the app working, so maybe I'll do a video on that soon, but now I need a battle pass. That's my issue, so I gotta wait till I get some more money so I can snag one, and then wait for it to take a million years to actually get here, sadly, so we'll see. But anyway, so Cobalt Drake, before we get distracted again. I don't know.
I think it's worse than Dronzer S, in all honesty. I know Zenki says the meta is kind of crazy because I don't know the weight on it, but apparently it's like 34 grams with the layer or something, and I don't know. I think it's like 40-something grams, and that's like 5 grams heavier than Dronzer S. I haven't done any research on Cobalt Drake. The paint, the paint is uglier than what Dronzer S looks like.
Yeah.
The design,
yeah, it's
we've touched on that. It's a good concept, trying to throw back to like a Dragoon or whatever, the 4-bladed thing. Like, I got a Dragoon V2 here. It's a similar design. Colors are very ugly. I thought they would be like Spider-Man, but they're really ugly. I personally am not really a fan of it.
I'm going to say, I think D tier, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll put it in D tier. I was going to be generous with C, but no.
I was thinking about it, but it's like, considering that this Beyblade is... You can't get it unless you either have a lot of money or you live in Japan. Or you have whatever Nook and Zenki had to get it. But...
I would not spend $200 plus on that Beyblade.
Max I would spend is like 50.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, if Phoenix Wing was anywhere close to what Cobalt Drake was, I wouldn't even want Phoenix Wing.
Exactly. It's just a bit disappointing. Next we move on to Drawn Sword. Now,
my boy!
Drawn Sword was my favorite Beyblade for X for a little while, but honestly, I've kind of been leaning over to Shark Edge recently.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Drawn Sword's just a classic.
Yeah, it's a certified hood classic. You can never... You can't really ever diss on it.
I think we gotta put it S tier for sure. I mean, it's the first release for the public for Beyblade X, and it still hasn't gotten overshadowed. It gives some of the hardest hits, and the stock combination, very solid. We've gotten some new attack types that the stamina's atrocious. They don't really hit as hard as you would expect, but Drawn Sword's a very consistent attack type, so I think S tier is very fair.
Mm-hmm. And of course it comes with 360, which is one of the meta parts used on the Ultimate Hell Scythe combo, which we did manage to beat on stream.
Did
with
you?
Drawn
What'd
Dagger.
you get?
We did. We beat it. Well, you recommended it. You said that we should use Drawn Dagger, and then it won in the first to 5 points.
Nice.
With the X rules. But that was only first to 5. I don't know what tournaments use for it. But
I personally go to 12
Daggers.
points, but I think it's like a best 3 out of 5 is what I do, just because some of these battles are just way too quick that I want to get more consistency out of the battles. So I give them up to 12 points, but it is what it is.
That's actually pretty smart. That way, if a Beyblade was to just shoot straight to the top, it would have to get 4 X-Dash or Extreme finishes in a row. That makes sense. I'm gonna steal that from you.
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
No, that's personally my tournament rules. I do an X Royale that I'm trying to spice up and do a constant victor of Beyblade X. So I do 12. I think it makes sense.
All right, I like that. So Drawn Sword is S tier. Let's move on to Hell Scythe. I'm gonna be honest, Hell Scythe, outside of being the meta right now, with the Hell Scythe 360 ball combo, is as a Beyblade, it's alright. I think the red is pretty nice, and the overall blade design is catching.
Yeah, I like
of,
Hell Scythe, but continue.
In terms of its its parts and its performance, it's kind of mediocre. I guess not performance. Performance means 460 and taper because the blade is like top tier right now, but yeah, it's just kind of an average Beyblade.
I would say I'd prefer Dronzer S over Hell Scythe for I mean, I guess not really performance-wise, but it's just kind of boring.
I think on principle that that the Hell Scythe blade is top tier. I think A tier is fine.
Well, we'll do that.
But maybe bottom of A tier. Because keep in mind, we are ranking these just based on our our own opinions and takes on the Beyblade. So, while I think the meta does boost it, if it wasn't a meta part, we would put it lower than Dronzer.
Ooh,
Next up,
the
we've
cute
got
wizard
Arrow, the cutesy babe used by Multi. Wizard Arrow is interesting. I have a bit of a thing for Wizard Arrow because we made Wizard Cheetos, and then there's also Wizard Crush or Wizard Fanta that we got in the Hell's Chain, and then we got Grape Wizard coming in, or Wizard Grape in the next
Shield.
random booster.
Grape Shield.
Grape
yes.
Shield is lovely. Grape Shield is a very lovely bay. But it's funny that like Hell's Wizard Arrow has been in pretty much every like major multi Beyblade pack. It got a starter when the first 2 boosters came out. It got a booster of its own. It was in the first deck set. Then it was in Random Booster 1. Then it was in the Battle Entry set. And then it was in the Hell's Chain deck set. And then it's going to be in Random Booster Volume 2. So we are at 7 Wizard Arrows.
7 out of 13 releases. Or 7 out of 15 releases. Literally almost 1 for 1 for every actual stock combination. Ugh.
Yeah, there's so much Wizard Arrow. It's ridiculous how many times they've released this blade. And we've only seen Hell Scythe 2 other times, in the 3-on-3 and in Random Booster 1.
We got a nice ogre green. The green goblin is what Zanky calls it.
Really? I just called Hell's Lettuce.
Of course, I could have guessed that for you. And then I don't have the blue one. Is that the other color I think it was?
No, it's the yellow one from the 3-on-3.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't have that.
I guess that one's Hell's Lemon. I call everything after food because I think I find that to be funny.
Oh,
it's like
my Zurst, shout out to you. He calls Wizard Cheeto Coke Wizard because of the brown. It's Coke Wizard. It's like
oh my goodness.
So Coke Cheeto Wizard.
Oh man,
that's funny. I laughed about that one.
I love it. I love that the community just comes up with all these names for the different recolors. I love it. I love how much I love that.
So Wizard Arrow bottom, I would give it C tier. It's just recolor. Should we put it at D tier? Because it's not the best Beyblade.
I think bottom of B is appropriate.
Bottom of B, okay.
We meme on it and we love it because it's got like some funny recolors and we call it funny names, but at the end of the day, by itself it just doesn't hold much water. If it was like Hell's Scythe tier performance along with its meme status, it would be S tier, but it's not really that. I don't know, I don't really use Wizard Arrow that often unless I'm using Wizard Cheetos.
Yeah.
Or I'm just using stock for whatever reason because ball, and I don't feel like customizing every time I do test spins. So.
Yeah, I don't prefer stamina battles, so personally I don't really use ball or Wizard Arrow, so don't really have much opinion on that because I set you up with the double ball battle for your stream, and it was just boring.
I mean, there was an X dash or two. It was all right. I think like when you battle, anything can work because just the recoil and the amount of heavy hits you get, even in like a ball on ball or ball on orb or needle on needle battle, the hits are just insane. It just pushes everything to the edge, and then when they lean over, you get that you get weird chemistry there. But either way, I think bottom of B tier is fine for Wizard Arrow for what it is.
That'll work.
Next we got Night Shield, which I think has the best recolors. We've gotten the really sleek blue in the booster. We got Ice Shield from Random Booster Volume 1. Then we also got Grape Shield from the deck set. And then we got the Blood Shield, or the Cherry Shield, from the booster.
Which I
Or
don't
the 3-on-3 deck set. Yeah. So, I think it's got the best. Now, performance-wise, I think Shield is currently, like, the best defense one, if I'm not mistaken.
Preferably,
it's either Shield or Lance.
I like Lance a lot better, just because Needle redesign needed to happen. Night Shield's Needle just gets crazy. Like, I don't... Well, I guess that's High Needle. I don't know many recolors here. No, High Needle was Viper Tail. Was High Needle on Mac and Shark, or is that regular Needle?
Nah, that's just regular Needle.
Okay, so yeah, we got a couple remakes for regular Needle there, but preferably I like the recoil on Night Lance better for the layer. So Night Shield's a little boring. Needle wasn't the best. I think they really improved on the defense meta with Night Lance. So I don't reach for Night Shield when I go for a defense. If I was going to go for a defensive layer, I'd probably go Stamina, honestly, and grab a Wizard Arrow, but I don't really combo build, so
I think C tier is fine for Night Shield. I don't know, it's just kind of overlooked. And then its stock combos on Needle, and Needle is just horrendous. I think it's the worst bit right now. It has no LAD, unlike High Needle, which High Needle is more like, I would say it's more like the defense tip from Metal Fight. It's kind of, I don't know, maybe the Libra one is a little easier to see. It's kind of like the defense tip that we had in Metal Fight.
No, but the life after death on High Needle, I guess we'll just move into Night Lance right now.
Yep.
I really like how Night Lance spins. It gets a little crazy, does the dance like the counterattack in the anime, but it centers itself back up, and it just is a dead straight spin for like, it's an insane stamina bay for being on Needle. Yeah. So I really like Night Lance. I would probably put him in A. I don't know about you.
With all the bits that like have a wobble to them, I think my orb does. All the needles that I have do, including Spike, but like there's a point when the stamina drops and the wobble goes away and it just spins stably. With Spike, with Rhino Horn, it's just too top heavy. By the time it gets there, it's already wobbling. With Needle, because the point is so sharp and so steep on it, but if it's wobbling at all, it's just going to fall over. But with Night Lance, with High Needle, there's a much gentler point there. So it does get that LAD, and then when its spin gets stable, and it's noticeable, especially on Night Lance. So I think Night Lance gets an A. I can live with that. That's pretty good. It's not the first Beyblade I reach for, but
it's a solid.
Honestly,
combo.
High Needle is fantastic in my opinion. I think it's a great bit for defense and even stamina if you really play your, I guess, balance at that point. But Night Lance is pretty good.
I've had some crazy hits with recoil. My drawn sword versus Night Lance to this day is still one of my best battles. That literally blow for blow burst finishes, blow for blow extreme finishes. Like, it was the most action I've had in battles. So Night Lance is a very recoil Beyblade for defense, and it has some fun battles.
Definitely. And now we move on to currently my favorite Beyblade from Beyblade X. We get Shark Edge. I love Shark Edge. I made a whole, like, oh, you know what? I think my shark outfit, I'll have to create like I'll have to pull out the southern accent and have like a character who's like handles animals and his Beyblade is Shark Edge or whatever in my skit series. I'll have to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. But I think what I like the most about Shark Edge is that it has a very... It's very much inspired by Pisces. Like, if we just take a look at hybrid or pre-hybrid Pisces, like, you can see that Shark Edge is, like, almost exactly like Pisces. It's got, like, that same ridge. It's got the same, like, gill design on it. It's got, like, the two long fin blades. And of course, it's got the shark motif coming out of the water there. I love that. Like, I think pre-hybrid wheel Pisces is one of the best looking Metal Fight Beyblades, and just to translate that over to Shark Edge and then make that an attack type is just it's killer. And they give it that uppercut feature that Pisces always had, but they always blocked it under stamina. So I think Shark Edge. I would put Shark Edge in S tier.
Okay, I could give that. Obviously, it's an attack type, so it's not the best all-around Beyblade. Everyone's had the gripe about low-flat stamina. I don't know if it's low-flat or it's the shark layer. We have seen layers do have a little more impact on stamina than I would have expected. So even the defense regular needle Shark Edge that released in the random booster alongside of it, I never got to have any good stamina. So I really think the stamina is just strictly Shark Edge. And my battles, if he doesn't get the KO in the first 2 hits, he will lose every time. But the concept is good.
Considering that we have Rush and like 560 and whatnot, and then maybe with 960 coming out soon, I think I might throw Shark into the lab and see if like a 360 Rush combo gives it what it needs or something like that. Although I was curious with the Blahage Shark, and I have to weigh mine because the green Shark Edge that me and some other people have lovingly been calling Blahage Blast.
Blahage?
That one, yeah, Blahage Blast.
Like Baja Blast?
Yeah, but Blahage.
Why?
Wait,
where's
you know what Blahage is?
No.
Oh, come on. How do you not know what Blahage is? Everyone knows Blahage. It's like the IKEA shark.
Well, I don't have IKEAs. Where's that come from?
It's been like a meme.
No, well,
it's like a huge meme.
How does that compare?
Yeah, IKEA's Blahage shark toy has been going viral on TikTok.
Well, I don't have TikTok.
Or whatever. Neither do I, but Blahage has just been everywhere.
Yeah, but what makes you think this is that?
Huh? Oh, it's not. We just call it Blahage Blast because it's like Mountain Dew colored.
Oh.
But then it's also it's a shark, so
okay,
Blahage.
Okay.
And then it rhymes with Baja a little bit. That's where it comes from.
Okay, I like that. It's funny.
So thank you, Heather, for that one. That's a great name. I love that. But anyways, with Blahage Blast being as heavy as it is, if you ran like 580 rush and you did because one thing that Shark has, aside from having that uppercut potential, it also has potential for wicked smash attacks. Oh yeah, measure yours. See how much that is. I gotta get myself one of those so I can actually figure out if I have what my weights are and everything.
Damn, Blahage Blast is 3452.
3452. Interesting.
And then we'll go with stock purple. Blahage is actually lighter.
Oh.
We got 3450 for stock. Or wait, what was that? Oh no, 3470 for stock, and then Mac and Shark 3454. So stock is actually the heaviest. I don't know.
Interesting. Is that just the blade?
Yeah,
or
just the blade. Do you want full stock? Do you want full combos?
Nah, just the blade. Interesting. So,
Is what it is. I don't know. Maybe, like we said, different molds happen and just different bays. Like, the range, I think, is like half a gram to some bays. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's a very interesting inconsistency with production.
Oh, well. First run products. We'll see how it continues.
True. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully by season 2 they really snap up on quality control, and that's when Hasbro's going to be pushing stuff out. So hopefully it's better with them as well. I'm hopeful. But anyways, we continue. Land Claw. Now Land Claw point is an interesting bit, but I think other than that there is nothing on Land Claw that's exciting. Not even 560.
No.
Because 560 was interesting until we got the Hell's Chain deck set. and now it's really just not that interesting anymore.
The thing with Claw, he is a decent design bay. I like the concept of the pentagon design with the claws that if he tilts over, he'll be more aggressive. Point, kind of a letdown for a balance tip. Taper is very aggressive, but Point, it's either all or nothing. Like, in my test launches, I was like, oh, if I launch him sideways, he'll be more aggressive. Turns out if you flat launch him, he's more aggressive or whatever. I haven't done too much testing with him, but I
find it's all in the launch strength. If I launch it really hard, it'll... Or, I don't know, I forget. If I launch it with, like, more or less power, it'll be in attack mode more consistently, but if I launch it, like, with a lot of power or whatever, it'll attack so heavily on the X line, it'll land on the point in the center, and it will stop being aggressive.
Yeah,
So it's kind of weird how launching and angles affect Beyblades in X.
And we can't skip over the fact that 560 is possibly one of the worst ratchets, or five layers. Like, the theory was that you want 3 layers. That's still the meta. I had Viper Tail burst like every battle with a 580. I guess stamina bits don't really have the most burst resistance, so I haven't done too much testing. Maybe just 5 isn't the best, but we're getting a 960. That's literally just going to be a circle, so I can't really comment on it. But 560 wasn't my first choice if I was going to do a tournament. But Laying Claw, I would have to put him in with Night Shield.
I think it's the fact that the blades are, like, rounder and larger on the 5s is why they get used, because I think they're supposed to be pretty good. So, I mean, maybe you just had bad luck with them. But, I don't know. If you guys really want to get into the meta, I would highly recommend checking out Original Zanky. It's where Zanky does meta testing and all that, and he also has some tournament footage on there as well. It's a really good channel if you're interested in getting into, like, the meta of Beyblade and, like, you know, testing and all that stuff. Zanky does a great job with it. So go check that out if you want the full stats for meta combos and all that. But for back to Laying Claw, it's just kind of, aside from, I don't know, it's just a little underwhelming. I felt that way too with it. I wasn't, like, too excited when I was messing with it. But I think my biggest issue is Point. Just the actual point in the bit doesn't stick out enough. And oftentimes it just kind of feels like it's either always aggressive or it, you know, by the time it hits the point, it's, like, out of stamina and it's, like, falling over. It's a weird Beyblade.
Personally, I've never had Laying Claw do anything good in battle. Like, he's already knocked out of my tournament. First round.
There you go. So I think D tier is in order.
D tier? We'll go with
Claw.
D tier.
Just D for disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the anime. Anyways, Viper Tail. Viper Tail, I was much happier with. I think the Viper. I think my original thoughts on the Viper Tail Select was a bit too harsh, because the Viper Tail blade on its own is really fun. It's a really interesting dynamic blade where it can work for stamina, but it's also great for attack. And I did a Baylab on it, and we determined that attack was the best, but stamina it was okay with. It's a great looking blade. I think my problem with it overall is just how kind of derpy the motif looks. The actual Viper just kind of looks weird and goofy compared to the rest of the avatars that we've gotten.
Yeah, I was personally more excited to get Viper Tail than Laying Claw. I like the concept of Laying Claw. It's a cool design, but when I saw Viper Tail release and they showed in the trailer for it the top-down attack, like it was supposed to lean over and hit from above with all 6 points of the teeth or whatever, and I'm like, that is such a cool design that we haven't actually seen a top-down attack prior to Viper Tail. And I did the testings with all 3 layers, or all 3 combos, and the recoil on it is so much better for a stamina bay than I was expecting. So yeah, I'm really digging what Viper Tail is. Stock combo. I didn't think Orb was the play, honestly. I thought that if it was going to be used, it would be better on Needle or a flat, personally. But overall, I like Viper Tail's design.
For sure, yeah. It's a very good looking bay. It's got very interesting battle dynamics. And I think, I think the assortment of parts you get in the Select is good. And I also love its recolor in the upcoming Random Booster Volume 2. That blue looks very sharp. And I'm definitely excited to have it. License to shut up. So I think A tier.
Yeah, I was thinking that, yeah.
Because, like, it's just not S tier quality, in my opinion. But it's definitely, like, high A tier.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
mean,
good.
we're going for stock combos in this tier list mainly, so if it wasn't Orb, we would probably put it in S. It's got very high potential for probably being a meta bay once we get some more parts. But we'll stick it with A.
So next up we have Rhino Horn. So Rhino Horn is interesting. It is currently the smallest blade available, and that's part of its gimmick. It's small, but it's got a very, focused center of gravity, which gives it centrifugal force and makes it pretty heavy to knock over. You can see Elliot's comparison here. It's much tinier than Lay and Claw, which...
Yeah, side by side, it looks like I made the comparison in my video. It looks like a Metal Fight compared to X. So
it does.
I don't know. I really like the design of Rhino Horn. It's aggressive for what it is. We were very surprised when we saw this release because everyone was worried about X getting too big. We never thought they would go smaller. We got these compared to Burst, and we were like, these things are damn mini. And the size is beautiful. We love the size of X. But we never thought they would do compact designs. And I have to say, the concept I love. The design of the aggression on a defense bay. I love an aggressive defense bay. So this is very good, but the practicality of Rhino Horn, we both did some testing. Stock combination isn't it?
Yeah, the stock combo throws it on Spike, which is a very...
I personally don't
unstable.
I don't understand the
at
point of Spike. It's literally a worse Needle. Like, they made Needle remade for High Needle because the point was too exaggerated. And then they just do this with Spike and decrease the surface area of the Needle and make it just as aggressive. So there's 0 life after death. And with that being so thin of a point of contact, even if it's a compact design, this is so top heavy that after it spins out, it just face plants within seconds.
Pretty much. The concept of it having heavy or high centrifugal force so that it would be more stable did not work in real life, especially considering the wobble that all defense bits have. It just kills the whole point of it. And at that point, it's like, I do have to question why on earth they decided to make the sharp bits with low surface area for defense and the ball bits with somewhat low-ish surface area, but typically we've seen those on defense types in the past. I don't know why they made the switch. It makes no sense.
I don't know. We'll see with Wyvern Gale. That is going to be the ultimate orb for right now. We'll see how that works. But, yeah, no, that was one of the biggest points. People were like, why would they switch the stamina defense bits? And at first we thought it was a pretty good thing, and we get some more variants of it, and it's always up in the air if some of these... We'll look back on this in 3 years and probably be like, oh, it's probably for the better, because honestly, the designs they're making for these bits I didn't even freaking comprehend. So we'll wait till February, because that release is unless they completely go back to the original designs of X. It seems like within 4 months of the product, they're already overhauling the designs.
Yeah, it's... I don't even know. We'll see what happens with Season 1, because I think this is really going to be the first... I do believe that this is the first time that the first system of a Beyblade generation is like the main focus of the manga and anime. Traditionally, we've always had the manga comes out and we get like an early system. So we had like the basic system in Bakuden Shoot, and then we had the pre-hybrid wheel system for Metal Fight, and we had the single layer system in Burst. And right now for X, I don't know what we're going to be calling this next year, but you know the first system that we've got for Beyblade X is the focus of the manga and anime. So it's going to be a long ride with this style of Beyblade for a while. And you know, I can only imagine what we'll do with Season 2. But you know, I think we'll save Season 2 for another video. And as for Rhino Horn, it's a very interesting concept with clear inspiration and vision for what it wanted to be, but it just didn't land. And I think for that, I think it's, I want to say C tier.
Yep, I'll agree.
It's interesting, but it's not functional.
I was curious about it,
and
now I learned that I was mistaken.
Yep. Indeed. And we move to Drawn Dagger. Now, Drawn Dagger, it's interesting with Drawn Dagger and Hell's Chain. There were two images that somebody photoshopped together on Reddit, where they took the original Drawn Sword and Hell's Scythe and then just made them look kind of like the silhouettes. I remember seeing that, and I didn't read like a dumbass, I didn't read the comments, or I didn't read the description of the post, and I'm like, oh, that's what Drawn Dagger and Hell's Chain looked like. And I was like, I went on a rage rant when I recorded my reactions to it, and then afterwards I figured out, oh, wait a minute, those are just renders that someone made, that those aren't the actual Beyblades. And then I saw the actual Beyblades before I uploaded the video, so I went back in post and I cut the entire rant out, and then I cut out every time I said I don't like Drawn Dagger and Hell's Chain. I cut the don't out, so it said I like Drawn Dagger and Hell's Chain. So
that's great.
Yeah, that's my little story that I have. But we got Drawn Dagger, which, you know, when it was interesting when it first got announced, I wasn't excited until I saw the actual renders, and I'm like, wow, that six-bladed design with the color and the rush bit with the 10 teeth looks like it'll be cool. And then I got fooled with the rush bit, because instead of it being a faster X-dash like I assumed it was going to be, it's a slower X-dash. However, it's consistent. So the way that I was talking to someone in Discord about it, and the way that they think about it is that it rushes back to the X line for another go. So you get more consistent X-dashes. It's slower, but you know, you get more of them and it's consistent, which is interesting. And I think Rush has the best stamina right now. I think it's because I think it's the smaller surface area as opposed to flat and low flat. So it's able to spin for a little longer. And I'm pretty sure it's like the meta attack part right now anyways, because we're running some rush bits on stream and everything. It was good. It was pretty good for what it did.
Personally, I haven't really dabbled much with Hell's Chain and Drawn Dagger, so I can't really comment too much about them. I literally unboxed them 5 hours ago. Or actually last night. A few battles earlier today. But I like the design of Drawn Dagger. The ratchet looks sick. I love that they're doing translucent or white plastic on it. I think Rhino Horn looks pretty cool. But overall, I can't really comment on these two, so I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, Drawn Dagger, you know, it looks pretty good, and its performance is not bad, so I don't think it's necessarily S tier, because Shark Edge and Drawn Sword are just more iconic and they're, more fun. But I think Drawn Dagger is a solid A tier.
Yep, I can agree with that.
And then we come to Hell's Chain. Now, I'm going to be honest. Hell's Chain is a bit of a turnaround. I think the design is cool, but the performance and the parts we got, especially High Taper, are pretty disappointing. I was extremely disappointed and critical of High Taper. I think everyone is, because, unlike High Needle, where it changes the actual steepness of the taper on it, we don't get that. Oh shit.
We are back. Another technical fail, but we have backup. We at least thought this through, and we have a very good quality backup. So all of our audio and pictures are here, so it'll be fine.
Yep. We don't have our cam, sadly, so
No, our face cams are recorded on mine.
Oh, they are? Oh, sweet.
Yeah. No, I told you we got it all backed up.
Awesome. Oh, sweet. That means that means our little Beyblade gun bit was salvaged. All right. Wonderful. I'm happy. All right. So, anyways, back to our tier list. We've got Hell's Chain. All right. Let's see. So I believe I had mentioned that I was unhappy with High Taper and how it's literally just taper, no differences. It's just like a millimeter taller. That's the only thing that they changed with it. Like with High Needle versus Needle, they changed the angle of the needle, so you get like the better LAD on High Needle. They didn't do that with High Taper, which frankly is disappointing.
Yeah, I didn't personally think Taper really needed much of a change, but the fact that once again they literally added a millimeter to it, just kind of reuse it. I was hoping they did a little more, but overall, I mean, Taper's a good bit. I'm sure that we'll obviously get a better balance bit in the future, because as of now we have Point, which we were disappointed in, and Taper, which is kind of meta, but overall is what it is. The layer, I have found better stamina against Drawn Dagger, so that's the only comparison I can make there. Design wise, it's weird. It's kind of a pink instead of a red or maroon.
Yeah, it's like a deep. It's like
a magenta, a deep magenta.
It's a really interesting.
Like you can see there on my
color
screen there the difference between.
It's almost like a dark pink.
Yeah.
Hell's Chain is, well, it was definitely made by Multi, which we'll see eventually, but I do like the black bit chip on it. I think the black bit chip is really cool.
Mm-hmm. I think I prefer Hell's Scythe design, honestly, but because it seems more like a stamina compared to a balance. Like Hell's Scythe has contact points. Hell's Chain is just kind of round. I personally not a fan of it, but yeah.
But it's also the sloped angle of the. It's got like it's more evident when you look at it from the side. I think you can see, like, you can definitely tell that Hell's Scythe is balanced, but Hell's Chain has those chain protrusions on it, so it carries over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I think. Yes, it's honestly. I think it's D tier.
Yeah, I can't really put it up high. The gimmick of Rhino Horn is a lot better than the execution of Hell's Chain. Even though Hell's Chain's a fine Beyblade, everyone in D tier is fine. Put Cobalt Drake at the bottom of D tier. The paint chip for a $200 Beyblade prize bay, I can't do it.
Yep, the price at which you need to buy, or the amount of money you need to spend to get Cobalt Drake in the United States. Granted, I guess Beyblade isn't really supposed to be in the United States. Of course, Takara Tomy is not going to make it illegal or whatever, because that would just be killing their franchise. But making it like super hard for us to get Cobalt Drake is, it's like he could have at least set up a program or something for America or people internationally.
It's insane.
We can still get it.
I posted a video where I went over the prices I paid for all of my Beyblade X products, and the worst part is Noelle in Japan made a short. The prices for Beyblade X over there are like 300% cheaper. The Start Dash set, $30. Land Claw starter set, $9. I paid $30, $30 plus dollars for my Land Claw, $100 plus for my Start Dash set. What the hell? Oh, anyway.
It's the middlemen. It is all middlemen, and it's like anywhere if you want to buy it in the U.S., you are paying. You're paying for the base price of the product, so you're paying the $30 for the Start Dash and the $9 for Land Claw, but then you're paying the shipping, which either is included or separate, and that's another, depending where you live, it could be anywhere from like $4, $5 to like $50, $100 in like bad areas. And then you're also paying fees for the service. So if you order through Bays and Bricks or Mall of Bays, Mall of Toys, Beyblade Premier, Everwish, anywhere Zen Market even has fees for their site. Wherever you buy it from, you have to pay those. You have to pay the service fees and all that. So it's to get stuff imported it's expensive.
Yeah, I doubt
in that sense.
I doubt Zenki is able to make the profits that could, in theory, be used if he bought them local and then shipped and then sold them right away to U.S. market. I highly doubt he's price gouging, even though he's already a little more pricey. So it's just a very weird concept of how the U.S. market is getting their bays as of now, and it's very bad. It's just we're used to paying these prices for these bays because most of them are Takara Tomy, and we can't get those on our shelves at Target. So most of the time we pay a premium for the higher quality Beyblades, and the only ones available are Japan. So
we have to pay for we have to pay for the product, but then we have to pay for all the middlemen and the shipping and all of the import costs. So it stacks up. Now, I think, fortunately, it could be worse. It's like, Bays and Bricks is pretty good. Like, starters are $20, boosters are like 15, 16, 17, 18. Start Dash set is like 100. So it's like, you're paying more, but it honestly could be worse. At least we're not paying $50 for starters and like $300 for stadiums and all that. So it's like, the price is higher, but at the end of the day, it always could be worse.
And obviously, we're spending the money. We don't. It's not like we have. It's not like we have a choice, but it's. I don't know. It's always a point of topic until we see Hasbro dip their hand in there and hopefully get us $9 Beyblades. Because personally, I've never bought a $9 Beyblade.
Really?
I mean, I've never bought a Beyblade in store.
Interesting. So you never, like, what about Metal Fight?
I was 13. I never went to the store. The only Metal Fight bays I had were the ones I got for Christmas. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't always go to the store and buy Beyblades back in the day, but it's like sometimes my parents would take me to the store if I was good at school or I did something good for the community or whatever, and they would be like, all right, you can buy a Beyblade. And it's like $8, Metal Fight bays used to be like $8.
Mm-hmm. I mean, personally,
I think it was like 14 for
personally,
a 2-pack.
I never. I watched the animes, but I never had an inclination to want a new Beyblade because I was like, I got like 5 of them and they're pretty fun, so I just kept reusing them. But I don't know. X is a different beast, and we're along for the ride. So we're at an hour and a half right now. We tier listed our bays. We had the gripes. We had a crash. Overall, 5 out of 10 episode.
That's generous. That is generous.
I was only being generous because we actually have a backup file now, and we had some good laughs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We were able to keep all of the goodness of our episode, especially because we had some Bay Blaster nonsense. So, all good. It was all good. But,
Next-
you know,
next-
80K, you
yeah.
guys need to step it up. You guys really need to work on it. Takara too. The story is just, you know, after what we read in chapter 6, all I'm going to say is 30 seconds. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
It was pathetic.
And
was
there's
pathetic.
yeah, we'll get into that next week, of course.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time. But just
it is what it is.
So
We-
disappointing.
We know I've heard talk about strikes happening for the animation teams over there in Japan. We understand. I think a couple whatever are talking about their working conditions or whatever. I didn't do much research into it, but I know they have it animated out, probably, or at least storyboarded out for the next 5 to 10 episodes. So they can't overhaul it. We'll wait for season 2 at this point, and it's going downhill. But we will end it there, guys. So hopefully you at least enjoyed our product talk, and let us know if you think that we were fair with our judgment about the anime and our tier list, because we love the products, not so much the anime. But we will see you guys in the next podcast episode. Any last words, Alex?
Do better, 80K, or else.
Or else I'm gonna
You've
suck
been
you.
warned. We will blast you and then we will suck you. And that's real.
Okay, guys.
And
Blade
that's it.
Dragons out.